This movie is about the Styles Gallery. We're going to apply cell styles out of the Styles Gallery. We're going to modify and make changes in a cell style where we'll see the change occur in all cells that contain that style. We're going to duplicate a cell style, delete a cell style, add the Styles Gallery to the Quick Access toolbar. We'll create a new style and merge that newly created style into a new workbook. I have a worksheet set up with a little schedule, a sales schedule with a tax rate and an extended total for each of the products listed. And we're going to use the Styles Gallery to map out what's happening as far as the structure and the calculations going on in this worksheet. That, incidentally, is one of the best reasons to use cell styles. And I've put a legend in column G so that a user that might happen upon this worksheet can tell, based on that legend, what's going on in the different cells by the way they look. I'm going to first select the note, hold the control key down, and select the word note on the legend. Left-click the drop-down for the cell styles, and then left-click Note to apply the note formatting style to our note. I'm next going to select Input, and our input cell is really the tax rate in C8. Drop down the Styles Gallery, left-click Input, and I haven't actually clicked Input. I haven't actually applied the style yet. And we get a preview of each one of these styles as I hover over them. So you can tell what that's going to look like when it's applied to your cell before you actually apply it to your cell. But we want the input style, so I'll left-click the input style. The calculation is taking place in column D when the tax rate is applied to the sales amount. So I'm going to drop down and apply the calculation. And lastly, output, hold down Control, select those two non-contiguous ranges, and left-click Output. And click off of that. So anybody that opens a spreadsheet up, and it's not very complicated, they could probably figure it out in other ways, maybe just even by looking at it. But in more complicated spreadsheets, this can be very beneficial. The input cell, C8, the tax rate, I'm going to increase it to 10%, affects the tax that's calculated for each of the products that are listed, and it affects the output of this schedule, which is the extended amount, which is the sales plus the tax. So we've applied some cell styles to the schedule to help visually display the structure of the worksheet. We can also go to the cell style that's applied and right-click the cell style and left-click Modify, and we get a style dialog box. Not everything is selected on here. This style controls the font, the border, and the fill. Left-click the Format button, and you get the Format Cells dialog box. We can change the fill color here, but we can also change any bit of the formatting associated with this style because we are modifying this style. I'm going to left-click something that's dramatically different. I'll left-click dark blue, say OK, and click OK again. And our cell style changes, and so does every cell that is utilizing that style. Right-clicking the cell style again, I can also duplicate it and make a copy of it. And when I do that, once again, I can select or deselect the different formatting attributes of this newly created style that I'm about to create. And I'm going to left-click Format again and change the fill to yet a different color. Select OK and confirm that. And of course, nothing changed with the old formatting style because we didn't change the old formatting style. We created a new style, my style. We can also delete a style by right-clicking on the style and left-clicking Delete. And we have one more option. Right-click any style and you left-click Add Gallery to Quick Access Toolbar, and you do just exactly that. I've now added the icon Styles Gallery to the Quick Access Toolbar so that if I'm in any place in the ribbon, regardless of which tab that might be, I still have access to the Styles Gallery. To remove the command, right-click it and left-click Remove from Quick Access Toolbar. I'm going to go back to the Home tab. We're going to create a new style. I'm going to left-click G11 that has all the default format settings. left-click the drop-down on the Styles Gallery, and left-click New Cell Style. And we're not starting with a blank slate. We're starting with all the formatting applied to G11, which in this case is all the default settings. The number format's general, the alignment is general bottom aligned, the font is the default font, which is Arial 11, and so on. There's no borders. If I were to have started to create a new style from a different cell, and I'll cancel out of this, I'll select G5, drop down, left click New Cell Style. The starting point is the format that's applied to the active cell, in this case now G5. If I left click Format and go to the fill color is the color of the cell. So the starting point is the formatting that's applied in the active cell when you go to initiate and define the new cell style. I want to cancel out of that and cancel out of this and select G11 again. Left click the drop down, New Cell Style. And from here, you can pick and choose whatever formatting options that you want to be applicable in your cell style, whatever combinations of formatting you want to define for this cell style. I'll name it New Style, and we'll change just a couple of formatting options. We'll leave everything intact except for we'll create a fill color. OK. And left click OK. We've created our new cell style. Now, I mentioned that cell styles are good for mapping out and visually displaying the structure of the workbook and to help illustrate what's going on formulaically in your workbook. You can use the cell styles for other purposes, but it's a big help in determining what's calculated and what's input, what's output, and that sort of thing. But these custom cell styles are only applicable for the workbook that they're created in. If you want to use them in a different workbook, you have to merge the style into the new workbook. So I'm in a new workbook, Book 2, and I want to utilize the cell style that we just created in the other workbook from Chapter 19. I'm going to left-click the drop-down arrow to get the Cell Styles gallery and left-click Merge Styles, where I get a choice of workbooks that are currently open. There's only one, our Chapter 19, where that custom style is that we created. It says choose an open workbook to copy its cell styles into this workbook. I'll left-click OK. Merge styles that have the same names. With this option, we can overwrite cell styles in this workbook from the other workbook if they're different. I'm going to say no. And I just get my new style that's added to the Styles Gallery, imported from the other workbook in which it was created. So you can set up a workbook that has some custom cell styles that you can utilize with the other workbooks that you're creating by merging from your Styles workbook into your active workbooks, thus creating a uniform look across your whole array of workbooks. So we looked at the Cell Styles Gallery. We applied some styles that were already in the Styles Gallery. We modified a style, and we found that when we modified the cell style, all the cells that contain that cell style were modified at the same time. We duplicated or copied a cell style, and we deleted a cell style. We added the Styles Gallery to the Quick Access toolbar, and we created a new cell style that began with the formatting that was applicable in the active cell, and we merged that newly created cell style into another workbook.